It's difficult to explain exactly what rugby is. To the outsider looking in, it looks like a really, really physical game. To a person that knows the intricacies of the game, it could be like a chess match on grass.
The game of rugby has often been described as a hooligan's game played by gentlemen, as opposed to soccer, which is a gentleman's game played by hooligans.
It's something that complements everything else in your life. Everything from confidence to understanding what it is to be a good person and a good person in society.
Anyone can play rugby. I think everyone should know that if you know nothing about the sport, you can always come out and play.
Rugby football for me is the essence of true sport. Nothing measures up to rugby. Nothing.
It's a religion. It's an addiction. It's once you play, you just it's hard to step away.
You're a part of something that's greater than just yourself, and it's a really wonderful thing to be a part of.
My little girl plays rugby here. My little boy passes a rugby ball around. They want to come here more than they want to go swimming. My little girl has mentors here.
I chose to come to Cowichan because of the character of the club.
I was born here.
I think I was on the sidelines at about week 2 of my life.
I got involved with the club because I had played rugby when I was in New Zealand, and in '65 we moved up to Cowichan, and lo and behold, there were some people out playing rugby, and at my tender age, I was out there going like, hey, I want to play.
My dad plays rugby here, and I guess I just kind of came here one day and I thought, that's a fun thing to do. Let's do that.
My first involvement with the club started, I think, probably because through osmosis I learned to love rugby by my dad's stories, and then it became an addiction.
My dad's been a long-time member, so he brought me around the club and with the rest of the other CRFC kids. And
I met a boy, and I moved to Cowichan, and they had a women's program, so I started playing.
I played against Cowichan for a number of years with various clubs throughout BC. And when I actually moved down here, it was a bit of a challenge to come on the pitch and face an old adversary. The first practice I came to, I actually got asked, what are you doing here? Because maybe I'd been involved in some personality conflicts with a couple of the old boys.
The CRFC was founded originally in 1919 by a British colonel that was stationed in Duncan after World War I.
The first team was killed off in the war, and then it had quite a lull of time where the club ceased to exist. And then it had a rebirth after the Second World War. A lot of people came from the UK and brought rugby back to the Valley.
There were 5 members of the Valley who had played rugby in the past. I was playing for Oak Bay at the time, but there was Peter Clark, who also played with Oak Bay. There was Ted Hearn, who was a local fellow. There was Derek Hyde-Lay from Shawnigan. There was Peter Owen, and there was Dave McKenzie. All ex-Brits who had played rugby at one time or another, and we decided that the Cowichan Valley needed a club. So we got together, the 5 of us, and worked out the details, and the club was formed and played its first game in 1962.
They established a field in the city of Duncan at McAdam Park.
Which was under city guidelines. So every time there was any inclement weather, we were bumped. And we were, because of cleats and things like that, the damage to the field, we were given the short end of the stick and told to leave the premises.
We didn't have a great deal of money behind us, if any. We moved around. We played at the high school. We trained at Fairbridge. We also trained at the tennis club at South Cowichan.
They went to the lawn tennis club and formed a partnership there and had a rugby field down in Cowichan Bay and a clubhouse.
We were at the Lawn Tennis Association. That didn't last all that long. We played out in the cow fields out behind in Cowichan Bay, did lawn tennis for about 4 years.
The lawn tennis club then bought out the rugby club. Lawn tennis and rugby, two different sports.
The brainchild came about by a few members to buy
I was working
this
Lake Couch and I was driving by and I saw the
70-acre
place for
farm.
sale. So I went in and I talked to the guy, and he was a Scotsman, and he wanted to sell. I said, I'll come back. And I came back with a guy named Derek Ryan, who was he was in the press. He was a reporter, but he's a Scotsman, and he wore a kilt all the time. So I said, Derek, I got to go talk to this guy about a field. We were down at the old place then. And the tennis club and the cricket club wanted us kind of to get out because we're ruffians. And so we came here, and I brought him in, and then he kind of looked at the Scotsman, and the Scotsman looked at him, and they kind of just took Tavis, Ryan. And I said, oh shit. And then they hugged each other, and then they're dancing around. They were both pilots in the Second World War, and one had gone down over France, and they thought he was dead. And they never saw each other until that moment. So meanwhile, a bottle of scotch comes out, and I'm saying, and about the club, and about the property. And pretty soon, I said, we got no money. And he says, well, how much have you got? And I said, well, we're going to sell a tractor, and we're going to sell this, and we're going to have some parties here. We can probably raise $5,000. I said, but if you give us $10,000, second mortgage, saying that we gave you $15,000 on a $60,000 property, then I can go to the bank and get the mortgage. It's a lie, but that sounds good for me. So that's how we got the place.
Well, the club's developed tremendously over the years. Initially, it was just men, all men. So I think from a group of rough and tumble guys, we've evolved into a pretty modern style sporting facility.
In the early years, we had many, I would say, 3 years without winning a single game. So we had our doldrums, and then we built. We played with the same team that provided a degree of experience that was developed as a team together over 10 years.
We haven't always been at the top division. We haven't always won, but in many ways we've evolved at a level that other clubs haven't because we've stuck to who we are rather than bring people in and pay for a better team.
The Cowichan Rugby Club is one of the most diverse rugby clubs in the province. We don't turn anybody away, and that there's the fear of mediocrity, I guess, in doing that. But winning isn't everything here. It's about the community and it's about the family, and I think that comes first. Where in some other clubs, winning is everything, and I think that is not what we're about.
We started off with just one team, but now there are 2 senior men's teams, a first team and a third team, and we have encouraged young people to become involved, and we encourage women to become involved to the extent that they're a very, very successful women's rugby team.
It's, as in everything else, it's cyclical. You're always on the build. You watch these young kids who used to change their diapers, and now they're playing top-level rugby, and they're playing for the club. So it's that progression.
It's just great, and there's people coming and taking places of the older guys that are stepping aside, and we're having to do less and less, and it's good. Everybody plays a little role,
think the club has done exceptionally well, largely due to those people who came after us and who have worked very hard to establish a club at the Herd Road ground.
We obviously have very special individuals who put more time into it, but it's not about them, and they're the first ones to say that. It's a club. It survives because everybody's involved. Other clubs are dying because they only have 2 or 3 people left that are trying to keep things alive. But I think the passion that we have through our core group is so strong that the rest of us will always be there to support.
My favorite part about the club is probably the sense of family you get around here, and I don't know, all the fun times you have together.
I think the community of the club is, without question, why we all come together and do what we do. I mean, we all have paying jobs, and we take the time that we do to be together. Yes, we play a sport, but it's a sport that brings us together.
As much as I love that 80 minutes of intense activity on the pitch, it's when you come off and everybody unwinds together. It is that family that is exponential. It's meeting people from all over the world that you love, because ultimately what it comes down to is the bonding off field.
Favorite part about the club would probably be the family aspect. I like the camaraderie. I like sitting around the piano after games and being around friends.
Probably the community, the camaraderie. You know, for a while I went away and played for a few other clubs and teams, and mostly what brought me back is because of the sort of the community, and everyone's a bit of a family here, and it's a real brotherhood, and you know, everyone's friends with everyone supports everybody, and you know, it's just a good atmosphere to be in.
It's a family club, and before I had my own family, it just had that down home feel, and I'm from Nova Scotia, so it really reminded me of home. So yeah, and then now that I am a mom, I feel like I can bring my kids in. Yeah, it's a family club.
Oh, it's a family club, big time. My kids grew up here.
Very giving, you know, willing to help out just at a moment's notice. Everybody puts in their time, and you know, when they ask for help, they know that people are going to respond to that. So
It's like a home away from home. It's just a nice place to be.
it's open and inviting, and really anyone could show up, you know, from any walk of life, or, you know, have no idea what rugby is, and show up and be like, hey, I'm here to watch the game or to hang out, or I don't know, my car broke down. You know, absolutely anything, and you're going to get a warm reception.
The community's fantastic. It's a family-based thing. You'll see grandkids of past players. You'll see the sons and the daughters of present players. You'll see grandfathers passing the ball with their grandchildren. This isn't a high-end club. It is a grassroots club. Now, I not to take away, it is a high-end club, but it's got family-based values.
CRFC community is just one big awesome family.
Oh, it's a family for sure. And the other unique thing about this club is that we, I think, perform on the field as well as anybody in terms of physicality of the game. And we get that from loving each other around a piano. There's no other place in the world that does this sort of thing.
My favorite club tradition would be singing. That's very unique to our rugby club, I find.
Getting around the piano and singing the medley and the other songs.
Singing around the piano.
Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little dream about an hour ago and it went straight to my head. Wherever we may roam.
Probably the singing around the piano.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. When skies are gray.
it's fun. You get involved with everyone. And not everyone can really sing, but that's not really the important part. Generally, we have, pre-made club songs we sing, but then you get some like Elton John going, you get some Eagles.
There's one song that haunts every other rugby club in British Columbia. It's our club song when we win a game.
It always feels good to sing this song.
I'd probably say singing the song, club song.
Singing the song.
The song.
All you gotta do is drink it to the level one more time and you will win.
I guess it comes down to it is family, community, and brotherhood.
I think it's community, it's promotion of the game, and I would say involvement.
Life, blood, family.
My second home.
One big family.
Peaceful, easy feeling.
Welcoming, fun, family.
Family, commitment, and fun.
Piggy fucking pride.
Like a family.
Teamwork, family, camaraderie.
Way of life. Cowichan Rugby Club.
Well, I just hope that it continues and that people will continue to support the club. The youth are the future of the club, of course, and hopefully from the various schools in the area, we will be able to attract young people to continue to play and play for the club when their school days are over. So I just hope that it continues. It's done so for 50 years now, over 50 years, and there's no reason why it shouldn't continue for the next 50 years. So I'm very proud to have been involved with the club, and very proud of those people who've come after and who've maintained the club to the extent that they have. Thank you.